Saving the old apple tree. As you can see, there is an apple tree. It's a huge apple tree. You can also see people around. There are kids, there are adults, and everybody is looking happy. So this is a story about saving the old apple tree. Let's see what's there inside for us in this story. So, once upon a time, there was an old apple tree in the middle of a village, deep in the heart of the French countryside. So, this is the French countryside. This is the village, and in the middle of the village, there was this old apple tree. There was an old apple tree. The children of the village loved to play around the tree and pick the tasty red apples. They loved to play around the tree and they loved the tasty red apples of that apple tree. The adults of the village remembered playing around the tree when they were young. Everyone in the village loved the tree and enjoyed the fruit produced every year. So, over the years, the villagers picked many apples from the apple tree. The ripe apples were always a bright red color and they smelled delicious. At apple picking time, everyone from the village, you can see everyone from the village, brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, grandmothers, grandfathers, all gathered around the tree to help with the apple harvest. Everybody helped each other to collect the apples from the apple tree. And then the apples were used in many delicious dishes. They were cooked and used to fill deep apple pies. You can see the apple pies. Where are the apple pies? Apple pies. They were baked into moist apple cakes. They were sliced and deep fried to make crispy chips. They were made into cool apple drinks. You can see, like apple cider and apple juice. And of course, even the fresh apples were delicious. One day, the village mayor received a letter from the government. The letter was about a new railway that was to be built. The mayor read the letter aloud to the whole village. The new railway will run through the center of your village. This will be great benefit to your community. However, because the apple tree stands in the way, it must be cut down to make the way for the railway line, announced the mayor. At first, the adults of the village were concerned about the cutting of apple tree. But soon they agreed that new railway would be useful. They were thinking about it. The village children were very unhappy. "We can't cut down poor old apple tree," they said. "What about our place to play?" they asked. "And all delicious apple, have you forgotten about them?" But the adults did not listen. Instead, they scolded the children for all their questions. The adults thought only of improvement of the new railway would bring to the village. They forgot the benefits that apple tree had brought to the village over the years. They rushed away to collect, saw, axes from their homes. Then they all gathered around the apple tree and ready to chop it down. You can see them. Meanwhile, the children of the village were also gathered together. They were all very sad at the thought of losing the apple tree they loved so much. We have got to do something, they all agreed. We can't let them cut down our apple tree. But what could they do? The children thought for a while. Then one of them had an idea. We often replant flowers in the garden. We use spoons to scoop the soil. Maybe we could replant the apple tree that way too. So, this was a smart idea. Kids were surprised to hear this. Let's see what is the plan and what they are going to do. The children quickly gathered all the kitchen spoons and ladles they could find. Then they rushed to the center of the village where the apple tree stood, just in time to prevent the adults from starting their work. The adults were about to cut the tree. They were just in time. The children explained their suggestion, and the adults said, "You mean we don't have to cut down the tree? Well, that's a good idea." So they thought it's a good idea. Great. And some of them were surprised too. All the villagers worked together on the new plant. The adults worked with spades. You can see the spades. Instead of saws, digging deep down under the roots, the children helped to scoop the soil and carry buckets. So kids, they are carrying buckets. They're helping to scoop the soil. It was hard, thirsty work. From time to time, they all stopped for refreshing drink of apple juice. They were served with the refreshing drink of apple juice. So this is how they are taking care of the old apple tree. You can see the sea. The tree was loaded onto a long wooden cart. It was a long wooden cart on what the tree was loaded, which had been specially made by villagers and the carpenters of the village. Two strong horses were chosen to pull the cart. Everyone wanted to make sure that the tree was in safe hands. Everybody wanted to be sure that the tree should be planted safely again. The horses made their way slowly to a gentle hillside. You can see, just outside the village. The children were so pleased with the success of their plan. Look at the children. They are looking so happy with the success of their plan, and they are happy because the apple tree will always be there. And they sang and danced all the way as they followed the cart. At the chosen spot, the apple tree was carefully replanted. It seems quite happy in its new environment. The apple tree is also looking happy, and the people as well. You can see the kids, the adults, everybody are looking so happy. Long live the apple tree, they cheered. The apple tree waved its leaves in the breeze. It seemed to be whispering thank you to the children. Even the birds sang happily as they flew over to perch on the tree's branches. So, this is the story of saving apple tree. It has been a year since the apple tree was replanted. The railway is completed. The trains run regularly through the village, and the village is prospering. The apple tree is prospering too. This year it has produced just as many apples as in the previous years, and children still play around the tree just as they used to. So, let's do some discussions. The story takes place in a village of Italy, a village in France, a magical village, or a town in France. Yes, you are right. A village in France. It was the countryside. What happened every year at apple picking time? The villagers gathered to help with the apple harvest, or the villagers cut down the tree. The children played around the tree. The birds ate the apple. Yes, you're right. The villagers gathered to help with the apple harvest. Who made the wooden cart that carried the apple tree to its new home? Who made the wooden cart? The huge wooden cart? The mayor? Was it the mayor who built the wooden cart? The railway workers? The carpenters? Or the children? Yes, you're right. The carpenters. What kinds of dishes were the apples used for? So you will be telling me the answers? Yes, the apple pies, the apple cakes, the apple sauce, the apple chips, the refreshing apple juice, and yes, the fresh apples too. So this will be the image where you have to find the difference in both the pictures. And here you have to think about a place that you can see every day, where you can see the nature around, the trees, the fresh air. It could be a river, a mountain, trees, or a park. And here you will draw the picture for the same. Alright, that's it.